welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're going deep into Surah Al-Sharh, also known as Surah Al-Nashr. You've brought Tafsir al-Amthal to guide us.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited to break down this surah with you.
Great.
We're going to explore the key themes and really try to grasp its context and meaning. All right, so let's dive into the first verse of Surah Al-Sharh. It says, "Have we not expanded for you your chest?" Now, I've always found this imagery so compelling.
Yeah.
What does it actually mean to have one's chest expanded?
It's a beautiful metaphor.
Yeah.
The Tafsir points out that this expansion refers to a widening of the prophet's mind and spirit,
Okay.
like a preparation for receiving revelation
I see.
and strengthening against the immense challenges he faced.
Wow. I can only imagine what that must have felt like for the prophet.
Yeah. And the Tafsir emphasizes that this expansion wasn't just a one-time event.
Oh.
It was a continuous source of strength for the prophet, allowing him to persevere through all the hardships he encountered.
So it's like building a foundation of resilience and clarity for everything that was to come.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, moving on to the second gift mentioned in the surah,
Okay.
we have the verse, "And removed from you your burden." This one really makes you think, what kind of burden was being lifted from the prophet's shoulders?
You know, I imagine this massive weight being lifted,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure what it represents exactly.
The Tafsir offers a few interpretations.
Okay.
One view is that it refers to the immense responsibility of prophethood,
Uh-huh.
the constant pressure of conveying God's message. Another interpretation suggests it was the weight of revelation itself,
Okay.
the profound knowledge being poured into the prophet's heart.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's another layer to this burden, right?
Yeah.
The Tafsir talks about the prophet's personal grief at that time.
Yes, it mentions the loss of the prophet's beloved uncle Abu Talib
Uh-huh.
and his wife Khadija.
Oh, wow.
It's a reminder that even amidst his prophetic mission,
Yeah.
he was also dealing with very human,
Yeah.
very personal pain.
It's both comforting and inspiring to see that the divine support extended to him,
Absolutely.
even in those moments of personal loss.
Yeah.
And then the surah continues with the third gift, "And raised high for you your repute."
Uh-huh.
Now, this part is especially fascinating.
Yeah.
Because, as you know, this surah was revealed in Mecca
Right.
during a time of intense opposition.
Exactly.
It's almost like a promise of what's to come, right? Even while facing rejection and hardship,
Yeah.
the prophet's mention is being elevated.
Exactly. The Tafsir highlights how even in Mecca,
Okay.
the prophet's name was becoming synonymous with the message of Islam, despite the resistance.
It really drives home the idea that God's support is always there, even when the external circumstances seem bleak.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have these three gifts: the expansion of the chest,
Yes.
the removal of the burden,
Uh-huh.
and the raising of his repute.
Right.
What comes next?
Well, the next verse is perhaps one of the most well-known and beloved in the entire Quran.
Okay.
"For indeed, with hardship will be ease.
Yeah.
Indeed, with hardship will be ease."
It's such a powerful message of hope and resilience.
Absolutely.
We hear it recited so often when people are going through tough times. But there's a nuance in the Arabic that the Tafsir points out isn't there.
Yes, the word "with" is crucial here.
Mm-hmm.
It suggests that ease isn't something that comes only after hardship has completely vanished.
I see.
It's intertwined with difficulty, present even in the midst of struggle.
That's really thought-provoking.
Yeah.
It's not about waiting for the hardship to end before we can find peace or relief. It's about recognizing that even within those difficult moments,
Right.
there's a potential for ease,
Yeah.
a glimmer of hope.
Precisely. And this concept is repeated twice,
Right.
emphasizing its significance. It's like a divine reassurance that we're never truly alone in our struggles.
Yeah.
And that relief is always within reach.
That brings us to the next verse. "So when you have finished your duty, stand firm."
Okay.
I've always been curious about this one.
Yeah.
What does it mean to stand firm after finishing a duty?
The Tafsir explains that this verse has multiple interpretations,
Okay.
and it emphasizes the idea of continuous striving. It's like a call to action saying, don't rest on your laurels.
I see.
Keep pushing forward, keep striving in both worldly and spiritual matters.
So even when we achieve a goal
Right.
or overcome a challenge, there's no time to just sit back and relax.
Exactly.
It's about continuing to move forward,
Yeah.
to seek further growth.
Exactly. And the next verse adds another layer to this.
Okay.
"And to your Lord direct your longing." It highlights that our ultimate goal should be to draw closer to God.
It's like a reminder that our striving shouldn't be aimless.
Right.
It should be directed towards something greater.
Yeah.
Something beyond just worldly success.
Yes, and that's where the Tafsir brings in some fascinating discussions
Oh.
about the concept of leadership and succession.
Okay.
Some scholars interpret this verse as a call to appoint a successor
I see.
to ensure the continuity of the prophet's mission.
So it's not just about personal striving,
Right.
but also about ensuring that the message continues to be carried forward,
Yeah.
even after the prophet's time.
Right now, it's important to acknowledge that some scholars have different interpretations of this verse.
You know what's really striking me is how this surah speaks to both our personal struggles
Yeah.
and offers the universal message of hope.
It's a beautiful blend of intimacy and expansiveness, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Tafsir emphasizes how this surah, despite its brevity, addresses the very core of the human experience.
One thing I appreciate is how it acknowledges the reality of hardship.
Yeah.
Without sugarcoating it, life can be tough, and this surah doesn't shy away from that.
Absolutely. In fact, the Tafsir points out that this surah was revealed at a time when the Prophet and the early Muslims were facing immense persecution and hardship. So its message of resilience and hope was particularly poignant in that context.
So it's like the surah is reaching out a hand,
Right.
saying, you're not alone in this. We all go through tough times, but there's a way forward, a way to find ease even amidst the challenges.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
And the surah doesn't just offer empty words of comfort.
Right.
It provides concrete guidance.
Okay.
Remember the verse, so when you have finished your duty, stand firm. The Tafsir explains that this isn't about passive endurance. It's about actively striving, pushing ourselves to grow both spiritually and in our worldly affairs.
So it's about taking ownership of our situation
Right.
and continuously seeking growth even after we've achieved something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about striving for the sake of striving.
Right.
The next verse, and to your Lord direct your longing, reminds us that our ultimate aim should be to draw closer to God.
A beautiful reminder that our efforts should be aligned with something greater than ourselves.
Yeah.
With a desire to please and connect with the divine. We talked earlier about the verse, so when you have finished your duty, stand firm.
Right.
And how some scholars interpret it as a call to appoint a successor.
Yeah.
The Tafsir delves into this debate, doesn't it?
Yes, it presents various interpretations of this verse.
Okay.
While some scholars believe it alludes to the importance of establishing continued leadership, others view it as a more general call to action, urging all believers to remain steadfast in their faith and continue the prophet's mission.
So even if we set aside the specific interpretations related to leadership,
Right.
the core message is still relevant. We
Yeah.
all have a responsibility to carry the torch of Islam forward, to contribute to the legacy of the Prophet, right?
Absolutely. And the Tafsir emphasizes that this isn't just about grand gestures or heroic acts. It's about the everyday choices we make, the way we interact with others, the way we embody the principles of Islam in our daily lives.
So it's about striving to be the best versions of ourselves.
Yeah.
And in doing so, inspiring others to do the same.
Beautifully said. And that brings us back to the heart of this surah, which is the balance between hardship and ease. We've talked a lot about striving, but let's dive deeper into this concept of ease.
Right.
The surah emphasizes it repeatedly. For indeed, with hardship will be ease.
Yeah.
Indeed, with hardship will be ease.
It's like a soothing balm, isn't it? A reminder that no matter how difficult things get, relief is always on its way. And I love how the Tafsir points out that the verse uses the word with and not after.
Right.
It's like ease is woven into the fabric of hardship.
Yes.
Present, even in the midst of difficulty.
That's a crucial insight. The Tafsir emphasizes that ease isn't something that comes only after we've endured all the hardship.
Right.
It's present even within the challenges waiting to be discovered.
It's like a hidden treasure, a glimmer of hope that sustains us during those dark moments.
Yeah.
But how do we uncover that ease, especially when we're in the thick of it?
That's where the surah's emphasis on connecting with God becomes so vital. The Tafsir explains that by turning to him, seeking his guidance and support, we tap into an infinite source of strength and resilience. This connection helps us see beyond the immediate challenges and trust that something good is always unfolding, even if we can't see it yet.
And it reminds me of a beautiful hadith mentioned in the Tafsir, where the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Know that with hardship comes ease, and with patience comes victory, and with distress comes relief."
That hadith beautifully encapsulates the essence of the surah, doesn't it? It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's always a path toward ease, a light at the end of the tunnel.
It's so inspiring. But sometimes the hardship we're facing isn't our own.
Right.
What about when we see others struggling?
Yeah.
How can we apply this concept of with hardship comes ease in those situations?
That's a great question. The Tafsir actually touches upon this.
Okay.
Through a story about Imam Ali, peace be upon him, a woman approached him complaining about her husband's financial difficulties, asking for him to be punished.
Wow.
But instead of punishment, Imam Ali offered words of comfort and encouragement, reminding her that things would eventually get better.
Wow, that's such a powerful example. It shows that sometimes the greatest act of kindness is simply offering words of hope and understanding to those who are struggling.
Absolutely. And it's a reminder that we can all play a role in alleviating the hardships of others.
Yeah.
Whether it's through practical support or simply offering a listening ear and a kind word.
I'm struck by how much wisdom and guidance are packed into these few verses.
It's truly a testament to the eloquence and depth of the Quran. Every word, every phrase is carefully chosen to convey profound meanings.
And beyond the meaning, there's a beauty to the structure and language of this surah that I find captivating.
Absolutely. The Tafsir actually highlights the literary artistry of this surah, pointing out the rhythmic flow of the verses and the powerful imagery used to convey its message.
Like that opening line, "Have we not expanded for you your chest?" It's so simple, yet so profound. The imagery of the chest expanding evokes a sense of liberation and enlightenment, doesn't it?
Yes, it suggests a widening of the prophet's heart and mind, preparing him for the immense task ahead. And then there's the repetition of, indeed, with hardship will be ease. It's like a heartbeat, a rhythmic reassurance that underscores the surah's central message of hope.
That repetition really drives the point home. It's a reminder that's easy to remember and recite, even in the midst of difficulty.
And the Tafsir also points out how the structure of the surah itself mirrors its message. It begins with the personal struggles of the prophet, then expands outward to offer a universal message of hope for all humanity. Finally, it culminates in a call to action, urging us to strive continuously and orient our hearts towards God.
So it's not just telling us a story, it's guiding us on a journey of spiritual growth and transformation.
Precisely. The surah takes us through a process of acknowledging hardship, finding ease, and then moving forward with renewed purpose and direction.
Now, before we conclude, I want to revisit a few key points that stood out to me from the Tafsir. One thing that fascinated me was the discussion of different interpretations. Especially regarding the verse. So when you have finished your duty, stand firm.
Yes. The Tafsir presents a range of views on this verse, some focusing on the concept of leadership and succession, others emphasizing a more general call to perseverance and action. It's a reminder that the Quran invites multiple interpretations and encourages us to engage with it on different levels.
And it's also a reminder that there's room for healthy debate and discussion within Islamic scholarship.
Absolutely.
The Tafsir doesn't shy away from presenting diverse perspectives, which I think is important.
It encourages a culture of open-mindedness and critical thinking,
Yeah.
while acknowledging that there are different ways of understanding and applying the Quran's teachings.
The other point that resonated with me was the emphasis on balance, pushing ourselves to grow and achieve, but it also reminds us to turn to God, to seek His guidance and support.
That's crucial. The Tafsir stresses that true success isn't just about worldly achievements.
Right.
It's about finding that balance between action and contemplation, between striving in this world and nurturing our connection with the divine.
And that balance is reflected in the surah itself. It moves between moments of intense struggle and moments of profound peace and hope.
It's like a dance between darkness and light,
Yeah.
hardship and ease, reminding us that life is a journey of navigating these contrasting forces.
And through it all, Surah Al-Sharh reminds us that we're not alone. We have the strength to overcome challenges, find ease and peace, and ultimately draw closer to God.
Beautifully said. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's your final takeaway? What message do you hope our listeners will carry with them from Surah Al-Sharh?
I think the most important message is that even in the darkest of nights, there's always a glimmer of hope. Surah Al-Sharh is a call to expand our hearts, Lighten our burdens, strive continuously,
Yeah.
and find solace and strength in our connection with God.
And it's a reminder that ease is always within reach, even when we feel surrounded by hardship.
Yeah.
By turning to God, we can find the resilience and guidance to navigate life's challenges and emerge stronger and more connected to our purpose.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Surah Al-Sharh. It's been a truly enriching experience.
The pleasure was all mine. Until next time, may your hearts be filled with hope and your steps guided towards ease.